Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first of three virtual business workshops in our 2024 series. My name is Michael Casale. I'm the Commissioner of the Niagara County Department of Economic Development, and I will be presenting the programs and resources available to you from our department and from some departments within our department. And also our economic development partners will be sharing some programs and resources this morning as well. First, I'd like to thank Kathy Sinor, my confidential assistant, for putting this webinar series together. Thank you, Kathy. And also thanks to our presenters today, and you'll be able to see them there on the screen. They include Jeremy Gertz, Project Manager of the IDA, Corey Schuler, President of the Niagara USA Chamber of Commerce, Maureen Henderson, Director of SUNY Niagara Small Business Development Center, and Liz Zulawski, President and CEO of Leadership Niagara. The nice thing about this webinar is you will not have to go nuts taking notes. We're going to be sending you an email a little bit later on today containing the slide deck that you are about to see, which contains active links that you can click on to contact our presenters. Before we begin our presentation, we're going to do some housekeeping items. So without further ado, let's go right to the slide deck. You're going to be muted throughout this presentation. If you have a question, please use the chat panel at the bottom of the screen, and we'll answer your questions throughout the webinar. If we cannot answer all of your questions in our allotted time, we will follow up with you afterwards and get you the information that you need. Today's workshop is designed to give you that overview of the various programs that are out there. We would be happy, as we always are, to schedule a one-on-one meeting with you to discuss any of these programs in more detail. Just let us know again in the chat box, and we'll reach back out to you. So let's begin our workshop. Once again, my name is Michael Casale, Niagara County Department of Economic Development. I administer a staff of 6 other very hardworking people who themselves administer a number of programs, some of which you will hear about momentarily. The first one I'd like to speak to is our Business Growth and Retention Program. We continue to reach out to at least 75 companies every year, with the goal being to meet one-on-one with as many of these companies as possible to keep a good dialogue open and to update them on the various resources available to them by the Center for Economic Development and our partners. If you would like our team to come out and meet with you, we can do it in person, we can do it virtually, any way you'd like. Let us know in the chat panel again, and we'll set something up as soon as possible and email you a confidential fillable form that you see on this slide. The questionnaire gives us a snapshot of your company and your company's needs, and helps us to bring the proper people to your boardroom table or to our meeting so that we can have a good discussion. And just so that you know, that survey always remains confidential. We will only use information from it in aggregate form, like how many companies we met with, and so on and so forth. But your name never is mentioned. Most of that stays confidential. The next program that we would like to promote is our Affiliate Data Center program. Our department's an official local affiliate data center under state contract with the New York State Department of Labor. We are a clearinghouse for a whole slew of data that would be valuable in your business planning process. Data includes, but is not limited to, demographic, housing, income, educational attainment, means of transportation, you name it, we'll be able to find it for you. All you need to do is send us an email or call us with the requested data that you need, and we will assist you in finding that data promptly. Nate Bonafide is our planner, and he administers the program for us in this department. You can call Nate or send him an email, which is included again in this slide, with your needs, and he will get right back to you. And if he doesn't, you let me know, and I'll take care of it. Again, these links are all hot. When you get this slide deck in an email, you'll be able to click on those hot links. The next programs I'd like to discuss briefly are the low-cost power programs. The Niagara County Legislature has created the Empower Niagara low-cost power program to assist small businesses in our county that are not eligible for the New York Power Authority's programs. This slide gives you the criteria, and an online application can be found on our website. Again, there's the website there you can click on. The New York Power Authority has low-cost power programs as well, and they include expansion, replacement, and recharge in New York, If you'd like more information on any of these programs, please just give me a call, or I invite you to join us for our next virtual business workshop, which is going to be held on Wednesday, October the 16th at 10 a.m., when the focus will be low-cost power and green energy incentives. The next program is the EIC Open Sea PACE program. Niagara County is a member municipality of the Energy Improvement Corporation, and so are the cities, by the way, in this county, the cities of Lockport, Niagara Falls, and North Tonawanda. We are a member municipality, so that whenever there's a business out there looking for financing through this program, we cover the rest of the county, so the county is covered. EIC Open Sea PACE is a unique financing program that channels private capital funding to industrial, commercial, and nonprofit building owners for renewable or energy efficiency upgrades. Financing from EIC approved capital providers could cover up to 100% of the project cost. Again, there's more information about the program, including a fillable online application form on our website. And again, I will have more information as well during our October 16th business workshop. Next up is our Niagara County Site Finder. If you're looking for a building or you're looking for a site in Niagara County, our website has an interactive online mapping application that'll allow you to search and view available properties. There's also an advanced search option that allows users, among other things, to specify building or site type, size, sale, lease price, sale price, etc. To begin, just click the Sites button on our homepage or follow the link on this slide, and you're off and running. And again, always, if ever there are any questions, you need some assistance navigating through the Site Finder, please call me, let me know, call Kathy, call anybody in the office, and we will walk you through it. Next slide is a slide that discusses the Niagara County Brownfield program, which is embedded right here in the Department of Economic Development. If you have a property that needs remediation, the Niagara County Brownfield program may be able to help you. The program offers environmental site assessments, which helps the community or the property owner understand environmental conditions on the property and whether those conditions can be harmful to nearby residents or workers. Funding is available to conduct phase 1 and phase 2 environmental site assessments in distressed areas of Lockport, Niagara Falls, and North Tonawanda. Sites can be publicly or privately owned, and written site access is required prior to initiating a site assessment. Sites must meet the EPA's eligibility requirements, and the property owner cannot be considered the responsible entity for that site contamination. Assessments are completed using grant funds at no charge to the property owner. The Brownfield Cleanup Revolving Loan Fund program provides financial assistance in the form of low-interest loans and subgrants to assist with cleanup costs at brownfield sites countywide and to encourage the remediation of these sites. The Niagara County Brownfield Development Corporation manages the revolving loan fund that offers 0.5, and yes, I said that correctly, my lights just went out. Sorry, we turned them back on. It happened to me, Jeremy, just like it might happen to you. But the program offers 0.5% fixed rate loans to assist with the cleanup costs at brownfield sites in Niagara County. Terms of the loan are flexible, and there's no minimum or maximum loan amount. Each loan is customized to provide the greatest flexibility to the borrower. And the loan fund is capitalized with funding from the U.S. EPA. The goal of the program is to fund cleanup brownfield properties in order to promote reinvestment and to retain or create jobs. More information on these programs can be found on our website or by going directly to the link on this slide. Do not hesitate to call Amy Schifferly, our Brownfield Program Manager, at the number on this slide or by sending her an email. And then finally, the Niagara Orleans Regional Land Improvement Corporation is also an entity that's embedded right here at the Center for Economic Development. It's a municipal partnership that works with communities to acquire vacant and abandoned properties with the goal to return those abandoned properties to productive use, creating a better community for all future generations in this county. Municipal partners in this entity include Niagara County, the cities of Lockport, North Tonawanda, and Niagara Falls, and our neighboring county, Orleans County. Norlick is another tool in our economic development toolkit that hits on a key driver for economic development, which is quality of life. As Norlick works to reinvigorate our residential and commercial spaces while combating blight and removing obstacles to potential development. There is a complete listing of available properties on the website, which you can get to by going to niagaracountybusiness.com, clicking on the resources menu button at the top, and clicking on Norlick. Properties include residential, commercial, and industrial. You'll also find an information sheet for potential buyers of land bank properties, as well as an application to purchase properties. Norlick encourages business owners or prospective business owners and developers to contact Norlick regarding the discounted purchase of commercial land bank properties. The contact is listed on this slide. It's Matthew Chavez, who's the project manager for Norlick. Matt would welcome your call or your email. Our next presenter now, I'd like to turn this thing over to Jeremy Gertz, who's project manager with the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency. Jeremy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mike. My name is Jeremy Gertz, and I'm the project manager here at the Niagara County IDA. And today I'll be going over the meat and potatoes of what we do here at the IDA. So our first slide here is just a general overview of how we started. So IDAs were created through the General Municipal Law, Article 18A in 1969. And shortly thereafter, the Niagara County IDA was created. So the purpose of the IDAs are to promote, develop, and encourage development through construction and building improvements, which thereby advances job opportunities and general prosperity and the standard of living. Our next slide, we're going to go over the tax incentives. So there are three main components to IDA incentives. Number one is the real property tax abatement, also known as a payment in lieu of taxes or a pilot. So this is an abatement of property tax for a scheduled period of time based on assessment. But it's important to know that the full tax is always paid on the raw land. So let's say, for example, a piece of land is generating $5,000 in property taxes, and a developer comes in and constructs a building. So their assessment will increase, and let's say the new tax bill is going to be $50,000. They will still pay that full $5,000 on the land, and then the pilot will only be applied to that new $45,000 tax assessment. The second component is sales tax abatements. So we can abate the sales tax on construction materials, machinery and equipment, installation of machinery, furniture, fixtures, things like that. And then lastly, we abate the mortgage recording tax. So the mortgage recording tax is a 1%, and we are able to abate 3/4 of that, with the other quarter going to the NFTA. So you might be asking, why do we need these tax incentives? Well, the main reason is to encourage new investment and job creation, and it helps to make expansion financially viable and to keep this county and even New York State competitive. I think Amazon is a great example of that. They were looking to head to our friends at Erie County and Grand Island and didn't get the incentives that they needed, and now we've got cranes and everything's going over about a mile down the road from where I sit. So the benefits to our community. Like I said, this is geared to attract new investment. It's going to create not only the construction jobs while a big project like our friends at Amazon down the street, but then it's going to create new permanent jobs, which will then increase the tax base. And when you're thinking about the permanent jobs, these jobs also have a long time multiplier effect on the community. So every job that is created, it sends more dollars into our local area. Next slide, we're going to talk about the types of projects that we can do. So a lot of the industries that we can incentivize are your manufacturing, processing, warehouse, distribution, research development, your commercial facilities like office buildings, hotels. We can do tourist destinations, which is determined based on the amount of visitors coming from out of the area. Healthcare facilities, senior housing, market rate housing, your transportation areas, your railroads, water ports, airports. And we do some qualifying retail. It's not something we generally incentivize, but the state statute does provide an exemption if that retail facility is in an area where the poverty level is above 20% and 1.5% higher than the New York State unemployment rate. I think it's important to let you know about our board. They really do have their thumb on the pulse of what's going on here in Niagara County, and they understand the landscape and the different needs of each community, and they take this into account when considering approval of each project. So the next slide is going to talk about our leaseback transaction. So in order for us to provide these incentives, we being the IDA, enter into a paper transaction with the company where we will lease the facility and then in turn lease it back to the company. So we don't actually take ownership of the company. So this leaseback transaction allows the Niagara County real property to remove the property from Section 1 on the tax rolls and place it on Section 8, which is the tax exempt. And then the IDA, we're going to insert the pilot schedule, and then the company will be billed based on that schedule that was approved. So the next slide is going to go over that schedule. You see there's a number of different situations that will occur different tax abatement. So it's based on our uniform tax exempt policy, and there's different industry types. There's an enhancement, like Mike talked about, our brownfields, because there's typically an increased cost at those sites. So the tax abatement will be greater. We work in connection with most of the municipalities to determine the need for the project and determine what's going to be best for each individual municipality. The next slide will discuss what happens if the project doesn't qualify for tax incentives through the IDA. Or sometimes it just doesn't make sense to use an IDA benefit. In these cases, we refer you to what is called a 485B, which is a real property tax exemption. This chart over here, actually, if you can go down, these will show who does it. There's a chart, I believe, Kathy, on the next slide. There it is. So you see it's set up almost like our pilots, and the percent of abatement is predetermined by the municipality. On our next slide, I'd like to discuss briefly our micro enterprise program. So Niagara County started a micro enterprise program a few years ago to provide grants to small businesses. The city in Niagara County, so your Lockport, your Niagara Falls, your North Tonawans, they each have their own micro enterprise program. So we recreated ours to provide some equity throughout the county, and all the programs are very, very similar. With this grant, you can receive up to $25,000, and as an applicant, you're going to work directly with the Small Business Development Center, and they're going to walk you through and help you develop a business plan and even fill out the application. So the awardees must either be a person who is low to moderate income or agree to hire someone who is low to moderate. Right now, we have exhausted all our funds from last year, and we are in the process of reapplying to the state, and we're hoping to announce a new pot of funds in the first quarter of 2025. Our final slide here is about our meeting spaces that we have. As you can see on the slide here, we have different size rooms. If you need to have a small meeting, or if you want to hold something like this that we're doing today, but in person, we do have space available. And I would say just call Julie on the number provided or send an email and we can discuss availability. Again, my name is Jeremy Gertz. If you have any questions, my information is there. Feel free to reach out. I'll be glad to work with you. And thank you for your time today.
Jeremy, thank you. Some great information. I looked in the chat box, and Kathy helped me out with this. There's a question about whether the recording will be sent to everybody. The answer is, I think, Kathy, pretty simple. It's going to be on our website, correct?
Correct, Mike. So like you said, we are recording this. And probably by tomorrow, we will have it listed on our featured events page, which is the page everybody went to register for this webinar. And we have our other workshops listed there as well. And then towards the bottom, it'll say past events. And we will make sure that we have the full recording of this there for everybody to look at. And we also share it out again. So, we work to get as much information out to the community as possible.
Thanks, Kathy. That's what I thought the answer was. And I hope these lights don't go out again. I can't believe it happened to me. But, bear with us if it does happen again. And by the way, in the comment box, thank you to the person who said that the Amazon project was a huge win, because it was. My screen went blank there for a minute. I think we have gremlins in here today. But anyway, our next presenter, by the way, there are no other questions, right, Kathy? I didn't see any.
No, that's correct.
For our next presenter, let me introduce Corey Schuler, a good friend and colleague, who's president of the Niagara, USA Chamber of Commerce. It's your floor, Corey.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Kathy, for putting this presentation together today. It's important that everyone in the community understands what we all do and how we're all trying to move the economy forward. As you heard Mike say, my name is Corey Schuler. I'm the president and CEO of the Niagara, USA Chamber of Commerce. Along with me is Elena Woods, my executive assistant. The two of us head up the chamber that covers all of Niagara County and beyond. We have members throughout Niagara County, Erie County, Ontario County, Monroe, and we were the first chamber in the country to have a joint board with our Canadian counterparts. Because we are a border community, we thought it made sense to work closely with our Canadian chambers to help with issues of cross-border and transportation issues. So we work very closely with the South Canada Chambers of Commerce as well. A couple things I want to talk about are chamber benefits, why it's important to join a chamber and what you can get out of chamber membership. There's old school things like health insurance. We have a health broker, Sheridan Benefits, that can work with you to see what kind of health insurance package your company may qualify for. We also do publicity, advertising, and referral opportunities. Many of you may have seen our directory that goes out every year with all of our membership listings and vital information for agencies around the county and the state. If you haven't seen that, we have them in our office. It's a great resource to have. We also have a traditional member-to-member discount program. Members offer discounts to fellow members on a whole host of things. We also, and what I think is the most important, is access to powerful networking. If you're going into business or if you're looking to expand your business, one thing that we recommend is ways to grow your network. There's a lot of opportunity out here throughout the region to network with other business owners, other agencies, groups like the NCIDA and Center for Economic Development, to really learn what's out there, programs that you can benefit from, ways to do shared services. It might be things like group purchasing or bulk purchasing. So we offer a lot of networking opportunities to our members and non-members as well. So you can meet new people and learn how to grow your network, because that is absolutely important in this business climate, is to have those connections. We're also proud of the advocacy work we do. We do full-time advocacy for local, state, and federal issues that affect businesses of every size. We do things like letters of support for projects that we feel are a benefit to Niagara County. We've worked greatly for several years on things like the CLCPA, which is the energy issues in New York State, making sure that businesses' voices are heard. And those are things that maybe are a little less traditional than a normal chamber of commerce. We decided to do advocacy, really jump into that many years ago. When I first came to the chamber, before I was the CEO, I was the chamber's director of government affairs. So I worked closely with the local, state, and federal elected officials on a whole host of issues. You can see we have the advocacy slide up now, and these are just some of the broader issues that we've worked on. You can see workforce training is the first one. We are very involved with workforce training and workforce development throughout the county and the region. I'm the vice chair of Niagara County's Workforce Development Board. I've been on that board for many years. If you're not familiar with it, I suggest you go on the county's website or look up Don Jablonski and Bonnie Rice. They offer many programs for businesses, on-the-job training. There's money to pay for training for employees, employee retention, employee products that they might need, clothing, transportation, things that will help you grow your workforce. We work very closely with them. We also support the vocational schools, trades, and any other workforce needs. One of the things that you see on here is the advocacy to maintain consistent guidelines for companies. If you've done any work in New York State, and especially we've seen that more so during the COVID years, you saw that rules changed at an instant. New York is notorious for creating a rule, maybe not getting that information out as well as they could, and then changing that rule, and everyone's kind of left scrambling to figure out if they're in compliance. So we work very closely on those issues, trying to disseminate that information directly from the state out to our membership. Things like, everything from labor laws to the new payroll requirements, that the threshold for salaried versus hourly, exempt versus not exempt. We share those things pretty regularly through our newsletters and through our Facebook pages. We also do, if you look at the last part of this slide, and it seems kind of an odd thing for a chamber, you'd ask, why are we working on things like strengthening the healthcare ecosystem? One of the things that employers will look for, people that are looking to open companies or agencies within a region, is their housing, their schools, and their healthcare. And with the changing in healthcare throughout Niagara County and merging of hospitals and some closures in the healthcare system, we've been a fierce advocate to make sure that the county and throughout the county has got access to adequate healthcare. That's something that we're working on currently and will continue to work on, because we want to be able to market the area as a good family, livable place to come, to work, and to play. So that might seem something that you view as maybe non-traditional for a chamber of commerce, but for what we do as true business advocates, that's something that's very important to us. We also have a board of directors that is a good cross-section of the businesses throughout Niagara County. We have small businesses right up to state agencies like the New York Power Authority. That way we have every cross-section, we have every type of size business represented, so we can hear what those issues are and we can help work on those. If you go on to the next slide, some of the things that we do to help with our members and future members are those traditional events that chambers do, like networking events and mixers, things like that. We started a Quick Connect lunch series that meets the third Thursday of every month at a restaurant in different places throughout Niagara County. We've been doing it for a little over a year. It's become very successful. It's just low-key, non-stressful way to network, talk to like-minded individuals. It's a Dutch treat, pay your own way kind of situation. You can stay as long as you want. And we found that that was a nice way for companies and individuals to be able to engage without the high pressure, networking events that a lot of people get nervous around. So you can just sit, chat with your neighbor, see what's going on around the county. And we found that there's been a lot of really good relationships created through those lunches. We've gotten people that have actually done shared service agreements through meeting at those lunches, and have actually signed contracts on different business ventures through meeting each other at those lunches. I'm going to skip the Small Business Expo. I'll get back to that in a second. We also have our annual dinner. Many of you might be familiar with the Chamber Honors that's been going on for over 35 years, where we recognize the best in small business throughout Niagara County. We're very proud of that event. It really does honor the people that have worked hard to make a name for themselves within the business community. We also host a traditional golf classic and networking events that we do throughout the year. Some we do solo, or we will team up with partner agencies to do networking. I encourage everybody to find some networking event. We're not the only chamber that does networking. There are also business associations throughout the county that do some spectacular networking events. If you're looking to meet people, to grow your network, to just learn new things or ask questions, you cannot go wrong with attending networking events. I know some people may be a little shyer in doing that, but you've got to put yourself out there. If I have one thing I would say that's the most important, it's the networking. Circling back, and we can actually jump to the next slide. We are actually hosting a small business expo coming up on November 13th. It's being held at the Wurlitzer building in North Tonawanda. If you're familiar with the Wurlitzer, I'm sure if you're all probably familiar with Platters. It's in that building. This is going to be an unparalleled networking event. We've never done one of this size before, but we've taken over both floors of the Wurlitzer building. We've got attendees that will be able to come and engage with a whole host of agencies that will be set up there. So whether it's Small Business Development Center, the Center for Economic Development, other chambers of commerce, M&T Bank, Pursuit Lending, Ibero. There's a whole host that you'll see on our website, and we keep adding exhibitors daily. What's interesting about it is everything is experiential. So it's not just tables with brochures and a bowl of candy, but all the vendors that are there will actually be interactive. They'll all be doing things that will be movement throughout the day. We also have during the lunch hour, we have a quick fire marketing session where people can give their 20-second pitch on what they feel is the best marketing aspects for businesses. That's moderated by Mary Alice Demler from Channel 2. We have national speaker Larry Meadus that will be talking about business issues at one point during the day. And then that event will end up with a tour of Platters, the actual chocolate factory, and of course some goodies for all of you to take home from Platters. We encourage everybody to look into that. Go on our website, register. It's a nominal fee. I think it's $10 to come. It includes breakfast, lunch, and a mixer at the end. There's a QR code on our website you can link to. You can also go on our website and check out that for more information. Last but not least, I just want to mention some of the partnerships that we have with the chamber. So your membership actually opens the door to a link to other groups that we're associated with. Like I said, I sit on the Niagara County Workforce Development Board. I've been vice chair for several years. Leadership Niagara, who you'll hear from in a minute, is a great partner of ours, actually housed within our office. We have a speakers bureau that we've set up with the Niagara Falls School District. So our board members go in and talk to the students about different career paths and what kind of jobs are out there. The SUNY Small Business Development Center, you'll be hearing from Maureen. Maureen's office, we actually have a satellite office within us of Small Business Development Center. SBDC is a phenomenal partner. I can't encourage you all enough to take advantage of that resource. It is unbelievable. And there's a whole host of other agencies that we sit on. The NIMAC Military Affairs Council, we have a seat on that board because the Air Base is the largest employer in Niagara County. So we're really trying to have our members have a link to all those things that they might not have access to on their own. As I always like to tell people, to us, it's all inside baseball because we all do business retention, business growth, and economic development for a living. But some people may not have the keys to be able to figure all that out. And that is what we are all here for. Last but not least, you can see on the last slide our contact information. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. If you are interested in joining or just getting more information, feel free to reach out through our emails or directly through our website. Thank you all for your time. And I really appreciate the seminar today, Kathy. Thank you.
You're welcome, Corey.
Yeah,
Mike,
thank
we
you
do
for-
have one comment that just reinforces what Corey said.
Yeah, I see
Shelley
that.
had mentioned, I'm not sure if you saw that in the chat, but being a member of the chamber, they saved over $5,000 on one member-to-member discount transaction. So, you know, it's a testament to what Corey said.
Go. Hey, $5,000, put it back in my pocket. Love it.
Yes.
Good job, Corey. Thank you so much for all that great information. Just one question for you, Corey.
Yes, sir.
Will Platters be giving out sponge candy?
They will be giving out something. I will just say that, but you'll have to come and see what they're giving out.
Okay, just twist their arm for some sponge candy. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Next up is Maureen Henderson, who's the director of the SUNY Niagara Small Business Development Center. The floor is yours, Maureen. You may want to unmute yourself, Maureen. I think you're muted.
I was muted. Kathy told me I had to unmute myself and I forgot. Good morning, everybody. So as Mike said, my name is Maureen Henderson. I'm the Regional Director for the Niagara Small Business Development Center. And for those of you who have never used our services before, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do. So we are part of the New York Small Business Development Center, which is a network of over 20 different centers. And if you're coming to us today from a different area, there are SBDCs all over the state. The closest neighbors for us are Buff State and Brockport, and also Jamestown. So those are our Western New York locations. My office does also have a satellite location in Geneseo, which is a bit far, but we, for most everyone on this call probably, we do cover Niagara County, Livingston, Wyoming, and Genesee counties, and part of Orleans County. So we cover quite a big area. We started in 1984, and we are one of the original 4 centers that started in New York State. And here are just some statistics. We measure our goals are how we help small businesses in the state. So we consider that any business starts, the clients that we have simply met with, even if they didn't start their business or not ready to, the capital infusion or the money that is being put back into the economy because of our help with clients, and then how many jobs have been created or saved by the small businesses that we work with. So these are just some of those numbers for New York State. And we just have been celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. So we've been around for quite a while. And so those numbers are pretty large. This is a map of all of our locations across New York State. So the big blue dots are the regional centers, and then the little gray dots are our satellite centers. So you can see us there in Niagara and our neighbors. And then that little red circle is our satellite center in Geneseo. Next slide. And in a little bit, I'll get into where we have additional outreach centers. So who do we serve? Well, we can serve anyone who is thinking about doing business in New York State, whether they are physically located here or not. As long as their business is here or going to be here, we can help them out. So that can be existing businesses, that can be new starts. You just have an idea and want to kind of get into the startup steps that you need to take. Maybe you already have a business and you need to spin off or move part of it to a separate business, or maybe you're going to be merging with another company. If you are an inventor, we can even help you. So anyone who is doing business in New York State. And what is it that we do? We do everything. We can help you with pretty much anything. The only thing that the advisors in our center cannot help with are anything tax related, because that is really something that accountants specialize. They keep up on their professional development, and they're the best ones to talk to about that. And then any legal questions. But we do have some attorneys that we work with, and they are pro bono for small businesses. So there is still a lot that we can help with on the legal side. It's just that our advisors here don't help. But what we can help with is pretty much anything else. You need startup steps. You need help developing your business plan. Maybe you want to put some financial projections together for the feasibility of your business. You need some marketing help. We can help with all of that. A couple of programs I really always like to point out that are specific to us are we have 4 full-time research librarians, so our SBDC research network. They went to school to be research librarians. They are great at what they do. And if you need help researching a certain industry, vendors, maybe you are a B2B business and you need some lists of other businesses that you might like to sell to, they can help with all that. And I also like to point out our bid match program. So if you are thinking about doing business with the government, or you are, and that could be local, state, federal, even other states, where whatever you're looking to do, we can help you with that. And we can get you into this bid match system, which will pull appropriate. We've set up a profile for you. It pulls from all of these different sources where contracts are listed. And then each day you get an email. So it saves you a lot of time from having to do all of that research yourself. And if you are a woman, a minority, or a veteran-owned business, there may be certifications that could help you in addition to that, to government procurement. So we're glad to help with any of those. Next slide. We also offer training programs. So our office, at the very least, twice a year, we offer a 6-part entrepreneur series. We have that in the spring, and then we are gearing up to offer it again. We are waiting on one little thing, and then hopefully we can get the information out there, but we're hoping that to offer it at the in November. So it'll be 3 weeks straight, 2 nights a week, and it will be virtual. And we cover lots of topics, everything from basic entrepreneurship to reading your financial statements. And then we end the class with having some real world advice from actual business owners. And that has become pretty popular. So we like that. It's exciting. Across the state, many of our centers still offer a lot of virtual trainings. So you can go to our website, which is nysbdc.org. And there is a training button, and you can see what everyone is offering across the state and what might be of interest to you. We've had a lot lately in cybersecurity and AI. Those are very popular topics. And we are lucky enough to have a specialist in AI on our staff in Albany. And he's been great. And we're hoping to do a presentation, a webinar with him very soon too. So we just did one in person, but we're going to hopefully get a webinar so it can benefit even more people. Where do we meet clients? Well, we have a main office on the SUNY Niagara campus. This is where we are housed. We also have outreach locations at Niagara Falls Culinary Institute. Corey already mentioned, we have one in the chamber. We can also meet in the Center for Economic Development, really anywhere there. At Mike and Corey and everyone there has been wonderful if that's a convenient location for you. We are glad to come out to your business if you have an existing business. If you are not near Sanborn or Niagara Falls, we often have access to libraries and government offices, especially at the smaller municipalities. We can meet there. And certainly we are always up for meeting remote, whether that is by phone or Zoom, whichever is easiest. We like to make it as easy as possible for our clients. So why are we so great? Well, the biggest reason is because there is no charge for our services. We are funded through the U.S. Small Business Administration and through SUNY Niagara and the Niagara County Legislature. So you are not charged for any of our one-on-one counseling, the bid match system, the research librarians, all of that stuff that I mentioned, totally free. Also, everything is confidential. We do not share that information with anyone. We don't sell it. We don't give it to people. If Corey recommended somebody came to us and then he called me and said, did so-and-so stop by? I can't say either way. I would have to ask their permission first. So everything is safe. We're a very safe resource. We get paid whether you go into business or we help you to figure out, how to wait and go into your business. So we're not in any hurry to push you. That first slide I showed you was our statewide goal, our statewide impact. This is our regional impact. So specifically our center, the Niagara SBDC, this is our impact over the last 40 years, how many people we have helped. We have some of our clients there, and those people have given me permission to say that we have worked with them. But you can see we have all over Niagara County. Zambistro is even in Medina and Orleans County. The picture, and I forgot to mention that the picture of the farm there is our advisor, Bree Bacon. That is her farm. Bree is our agricultural specialist, and she not only is the specialist for Niagara County, but she is our state chairperson for the Agriculture Committee, and she is on our National Agriculture Committee as well. So we deal with a lot of farms, and Bree walks the walk. She knows everything that farmers are dealing with, and So she's great at that, and knows just all kinds of resources in specific funding, because that can be its own animal. So these are we have worked with over 19,000 businesses since our start, helped invest over almost over $500 million, and help create or save over 13,000 jobs. There is my contact information. And if you go to our website, which is niagarasbdc.org, there is a button that says, I'm drawing a blank now, I can't remember, it says find a business advisor or make an appointment with us, something like that. And if you click on that, it will bring you to our intake form, which you just need to fill out, and then we will get back to you to set up an appointment. Any questions?
I'm looking at the chat box and I don't see any. Am I missing anything, Kathy?
No, I don't see any more questions yet.
You did a great, thorough job, Maureen. Excellent. You know, Maureen mentioned Bree Bacon, you know, and she's a big part, as is everybody on this call, of our agribusiness outreach forum. So I guess all I'll say, Kathy, is be on the lookout. It's coming again in March of 2025.
Yes, it is.
I think we just got something that popped up. Can you read that one, Kathy?
It's a kudos to Maureen that they use your services for LLC and you were very helpful.
Ah,
Wonderful.
way to go. Way to go, Maureen. Okay, hey, our final presenter this morning is Liz Zalowski, President and CEO of Leadership Niagara. Take it away, Liz.
Great, thanks, Mike. Well, thanks for including me in this. And as you can tell from earlier, you could see myself and Corey Schuler together. So if you're not aware, Leadership Niagara is now co-located in the Niagara USA Chamber Suite on Inducon Drive in the Regional Economic Development Center. And I think it bears saying that what has been created over here is a one-stop regional center for economic and business development. So we are the newest member of this collaboration, and just want to thank everyone on the call for bringing us into this and helping us be part of helping our community. So thank you. Next slide. So Leadership Niagara exists to cultivate the capacity of current and future leaders. We want to help sustain and grow their leadership skills and their ability to then take that into the community and strengthen the fiber of leadership in all of our businesses. We want to be that premier leadership resource for you and for members of this region. So next slide. So Leadership Niagara is actually the longest running leadership development organization of its kind in New York State. We are celebrating 40 years of leadership development here in our region. And October 30th, we actually have our leadership celebration, our 40-year commemoration. And if you'd like more information on being part of that celebration, it's October 30th, and there's information on our website, which you will have the live link in this presentation. We have an alumni network of over really almost 2,300 individuals now, and it's growing every day. Our programs are award-winning. We actually have been nationally awarded through the Association of Leadership Programs for the innovation of our program and how we have structured, which you'll hear a little bit more about as we get into the meat and potatoes of our program. And we also, like the Niagara USA Chamber, are the only organization regionally that has binational collaboration. Next slide, please. So our premier program, or you'll hear it referred to as Leadership Niagara, the adult program, runs every year. We run a cohort of 30 to 40 leaders each year. Starts in January and continues through to the end of the year, graduation in December. Each monthly session is taught by industry experts and leadership professionals. So each month is a theme. 1 month manufacturing, 1 healthcare, 1 education, and so on. And each month you hear from leadership experts in those fields, as well as go to their sites, have behind the scenes all access tours, and then usually end the day with our leadership development expert on various themes, such as change and transformation, emotional intelligence, conducting difficult conversations, how to give feedback, and a variety of different topics that you will learn and strengthen your skills on. It is an opportunity for networking. So you are out in the community, you're seeing the businesses that make up the fiber and the economics of the region. You are learning from those individuals, and you have a whole cohort of individuals that you are meeting with on a monthly basis, getting to know and expanding your network. We have community action projects, which I will talk about in just a minute. Next slide, please. So our impact is three-pronged. So we work with the individual on strengthening their individual skills so they can get an understanding of the issues that are impacting our region and the economy. We help nurture their relationships. And then that carries in through to the organizations that they work for. And so that helps strengthen their organization and their organization standing within the community, building that network as well. And then it kind of flows upward to the community at large. In addition to creating stronger leaders, each year through an RFP process, we launch CAP projects, which are community action projects. So we survey through an RFP all of the local nonprofit organizations, and we ask them to present to us a very brief synopsis of a project that they do not have the capacity to complete themselves. And how a small group, 5 to 6 individuals from the current Leadership Niagara program can help attain those projects and help build capacity in these organizations. And so, to date, we've returned about $135,000 in value back to the community, and over 4,000 volunteer hours. Yes, I see, Sam. I see your comment. Wow, it is really incredible. So not only are we strengthening the individuals, but we're strengthening the community as well. I mentioned we have binational collaboration. So one of our sessions coming back this year, we had to stop it because of COVID and cross-border relations. But in the class of 2025, they will actually be traveling to Niagara Falls, Ontario, and we will have a joint session on regional issues and a binational collaboration with Leadership Niagara, Ontario. Next slide, please. So, as I said, we've been around for 40 years, and we have many individuals throughout. Leadership Niagara is kind of a who's who of Niagara County and also the region. A lot of notable individuals have participated in our programs, one which being Mark Laurie. And, this is just a testimonial and Mark is also one of our board members, as to the strength of the Leadership Niagara network, and how not only are you meeting the individuals in your cohort, but then you are now linked to their individual networks as well. And there's another slide. The next slide is April Baskin. If you could advance the slide, Kathy. There we go. Thank you. So April Baskin, if you're not aware, was the Erie County Legislative Chair. She was a member of our class of 2016. And she also, Shelley, I see you, LN, best class ever, 18. And April, attests to the fact that it really helped her strengthen her background and understanding about economics from, a rural perspective as well as urban and suburban. So, and she says she would never have been able to embrace diversity in her region if it weren't for her experience with Leadership Niagara. And so, this opportunity for everyone it's really incredible to strengthen who you are, how you operate, and how you work in any landscape, really, in the business community. Next slide, please. So many people are not aware that we also have a youth program. It's called LYNC, LYNC, Leadership for the Youth of Niagara Communities. And LYNC works with all of the participating Niagara County school districts. It's an 8-month program that follows the academic year. And we take 100 students from these schools every year, high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And much like the adult program, they have monthly sessions, and they go all throughout the county, visiting and learning from industry experts and learning about the landscape of Niagara County, and learning different skills. So they also have a leadership development component as well: personal branding, self-awareness, how to better make decisions, etc. And so, thus strengthening kind of, we start with young children and we keep bringing them along until they're adults in the adult program. And we have several people now over the course of the past 40 years who have gone through both programs. And so that continues, it kind of continues that leadership continuum. I should mention that with our adult program, although we are Niagara centric, one need not be a resident of Niagara County. So if you are an Erie County resident, but doing business in Niagara County, or a business owner looking to expand your business into Niagara County, it's a great opportunity. So it's not specific to living or working in Niagara County. It's that our program is Niagara centric and we highlight the assets of Niagara County. Next slide, please. So we are now accepting applications for our 2025 cohort. The information is on our website and the application is on our website. We would encourage you to think about joining us for next year. If you have any questions, would like a little bit more of an in-depth overview of what to expect, I'm happy to have a conversation with you or meet you, and we would love to see you.
Well, I have a feeling, Liz, that Sam's going to be reaching out to you very soon, right?
I'd love to have you, Sam.
I know you're looking forward to that call. Liz, thank you so much for all the great information.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, folks, we're going to be sending you an email later on today containing the slide deck, which has active links in it that you can click on to contact our presenters. Kathy, am I missing any questions or comments?
We do have one question that just popped up asking about fees for the different organizations that we're speaking today.
So
No fee from ours. I know that for a fact.
So Leadership Niagara does have a tuition bill. Generally, it is sponsored by an employer, and it's $4,000 for the whole year. That includes 2 overnight retreats, as well as all of your accommodations, all of your materials, and etc. for the full year. And we work with individuals and businesses on payment plans, and we want to make it possible for everyone who's interested to participate. So if that's an issue, certainly we can have a conversation about making that happen.
Now you can all correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I think Maureen shared quite specifically no fees from the SBDC. There may be one, Maureen, for one of the training workshops.
Correct.
Right. Sometimes our trainings have fees. We try to keep them as low cost as possible. But if there is a specialty presenter we have to pay, we may need to charge a fee. And then certainly all of our one-on-one counseling is completely free.
And then Jeremy, there is an application fee if a company out there wants to apply for, let's say, tax incentives, correct?
That is true, and there's different fees based on the size and scope of the project, but we are not going to let you get to that point if you're not going to fit to where the benefit is going to outweigh any kind of fees associated with it. We're not going to let you get there. We'll reverse the math and make sure that maybe we put you into that 485B instead of going through our incentives. We're not going to just take applications fees without knowing that the project is going to be worth the reward.
And you guys do a great job with that, Jeremy. We really appreciate that. And you know what? Thanks for sharing the 45B, because I don't think there are a lot of people that really knew it even existed. And it could be very, very helpful. So thank you. Again, I want to thank all the presenters today, Jeremy, Corey, Maureen, and Liz. Thank you so much for giving us an hour of your time to present today. This was the first in a 3-part workshop series being offered by the Center for Economic Development. The next one is Wednesday, October the 16th. The topic is going to be low-cost power and energy efficiency programs, as well as EV charging station incentives and information on the process and timeline to initiate any new hookups for electric. And then I think you heard Corey talk about Don Jablonski and the Employment and Training Office on Tuesday, November the 12th at 10 a.m. The topic is workforce development, job training programs, and Don will be a presenter at that shop. Now before I stop, Kathy, was there another comment that just came up?
I think there was. Let me check here. Sam's wondering where the best place to start is, because a lot of us, we're handling all economic development. I can answer that. I would say, if you're looking for a chamber, you would call Corey directly, or if you're looking for Leadership Niagara, certainly you would contact Liz directly. If you're a small business just starting out, really the best place to start is with Maureen at the Small Business Development Center. She's aware of all of the programs that are offered throughout the county, and she can get you in with some of those like ground level tasks that need to be completed in order to gain financing or start your project. So I would say start with her.
And the nice thing, Corey talked about, and I saw your hand go up there, Corey. Corey talked about collaboration and the way we all work together. We all refer a lot to each other. Corey, did you want to add to that?
No, just very quickly circling back. We do have a membership fee to join the chamber. We have a nonprofit rate of $180. The base rate for businesses is $225. And then we have negotiated rates for things like banks, hotels, hospitals. That is our sole source of funding. As a Chamber of Commerce, we do not receive government funding. We are not on the government payroll. We do not get money from the county. Our existence is solely based on our sponsorships and our membership fees. So we do have a small fee, and those are all negotiated. I just wanted to mention that.
And I might add that's quite a bargain. And by the way, if you look at this slide, there is a QR code on the slide to register for any of the events I mentioned. The next two workshops, the low cost power and the workforce development. Just put your camera on that QR code, and it'll take you right to this site that you could sign up for those. And finally, when you leave this session, you're going to receive a survey that'll appear in a new window on your internet browser. We'd appreciate your comments and your feedback. Once again, thank you to our presenters. Thank you to all of those that attended, and we hope to see you at a future event. So long, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.